I hope you are able to see my screen. Okay, so in the last class we've been discussing about how to import the data into Power BI. We have imported it with using the source of Excel workbook, and also we have done few small operations on it. But let us see what are the other kind of things like changing the data types, adding the new columns, like creating calculated measures and all, using the DAX expressions. We will explore all those things today. So I'm going to open the Power BI. Whatever is have been done in the last class, I have been saved that work. So before going to that, I have saved this work last time after I have been uploaded this data set. So how you can save it? Normally it will be going to save it in your local desktop, not like any Tableau public or something. You can just go to file, and here you can now have an option called save. You can save it. Whenever you are saving it, you can save it in your own local desktop location wherever you want, and you can give some name to it. So whenever you are opening the next time, no need to open Microsoft Power BI. Go to the location where you have been saved this file and go and open that location. Okay, that file you can open directly. No need to go to Power BI. If you wanted to go to Power BI, fine. You can go to Power BI. You can click on open and find where you have been saved it, and from there also you can open. Okay, so anything is fine. You can directly go ahead and open the Microsoft Power BI where the file whatever you have been created, and next time when you're opening, or else you can normally open Microsoft Power BI and go to the open option here under the file, and you can select where you have been saved it. Okay, so these two options you can use any of that. So this is how you can save your work in the Power BI. Okay, so now let us move on to the table view once again. So last time we have done few operations on the customer table and recovery data and sanction data. Like what we have been done, we have been removed the redundant columns, like month and year separately are there, so we have been removed that. So now let us try to look into the data types and also make a change in the data type for few of these columns. So for that I will be going to go to the Power Query Editor. So I have already shown you in the last class what is Power Query Editor, right? So how you can go to Power Query Editor. So you can see the three dots present here. So you can click on this. You can click on Edit Query. Okay, you can click on Edit Query. Once you click on Edit Query, it will open a new tab for you. So we call it as a Power Query Editor. So it is going to open now. Yeah, so this is the Power Query Editor. In this we can make all the changes I have been told yesterday in the last class. So first of all, I wanted to make some changes in the data types. So what are those changes? I wanted to make this customer number as in text field instead of the number format. So we all know it is just a minute. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to make changes to this data type of the customer number, because customer number it is being treating it as a number format, but we have done this earlier also. This is not an kind of number where you can find out an average or sum or total. These kind of things you can't able to find out using the customer number kind of columns. So this one I wanted to make a change to the other data type. Okay, so for that reason I will be going to make a change in the data type. So we can go to the transform. Just a minute. Yeah, you can see here in the customer number. Once you see here data type is whole number is what it is selected. You can click on that one. Okay, select the column, go to here, data type is there. As of now it is whole number is what selected. I will be going to make it as an text format. Okay, you can click on text. Okay, so it is applying the change. Yeah, so it has been applied the change, and you can see here in the applied steps changed the type one. Okay, So whatever is the changes that you are going to make, that will be applied here in these steps. Okay, so as last time also I told you, whatever the operations that you are going to do on this particular table will be written here in this way. So I'm going to do the similar thing for the remaining columns. So as of now here, applied loan amounts in lakhs, as it is an amount field. Okay, and I'll be going to keep it in the number format, and month year is a calendar, that is date format. And channel ID and product ID, once again channel ID and product ID are the, here they are treating them as number format, but those things needs to be in the text format only. So for that, once again selected this column, go here, there is a data type which has been selected as whole number. Now I am going to make it as text format. Okay, the same thing with the product ID, go here, make this as text format. Okay, channel ID and product ID, this is how you need to make changes to your data type. And then gender is there, occupation is there, age, all of these are numbers only. And salary is also in the text format, and branch code, once again it is in the number. So once again I am going to change this branch code into the text format. So these are the changes which we can able to apply on this particular table called customer. So similar kind of changes I will be going to apply it on sanction data and recovery data also. So going for the sanction data. So once again changing the data type of the customer number. So selected this particular column, go to the data type here, make it as text format. And then here applied loan amounts is in number, month year calendar, sanction amount in lakhs and disbursed amount in lakhs. Both of these are in the numbers, and branch is in the text format. Okay, so this is looking fine for me. And next I will go to recovery data. Here also the customer number needs to be changed to the data type. So go to the whole number here, and then from here we are going to make data type as text. And remaining delinquency months in the text format. Okay, these are looking fine. Now one thing which I wanted to make here is, if I wanted to perform a proper kind of join between customer sanction and recovery data, there are few columns which needs to be present in the sanction data and the recovery data as well, right? So for that to happen, we are going to do the merging of the tables. So what are the kind of columns that I am going to bring here is, if you observe the customer table, in the customer table we have product ID, and we have the product ID, we have branch code, we have the channel ID as well, right? These three columns, channel ID, so channel ID, product ID, and what else? We have branch code. So for these three columns, I want these to be present in the sanction data and recovery data as well. Because if you wanted to make a join between the other tables for sanction and recovery data, obviously you need to have the common columns in these tables as well. So as of now, we don't have that. We are going to bring in those three columns. What are those three columns? We are going to bring branch ID, product ID, and branch like channel ID. So these three columns, I am going to bring it into the sanction data and recovery data, just like as it is present in the customer table. So for that, we are going to use the option called merge queries here. Okay, we are going to merge this query with within the same location with another file to bring the columns that we require. Okay, so here the two primary ways of the combining queries in the Power BI are of two types. First one is of merge queries, next one is of append queries. So it is an important interview question once again in the Power BI. What are the different kind of ways to combine the queries in the Power BI? This can be the question. What are the different kind of ways to combine the queries in the Power BI? Answer is, there are two ways. One is merge queries, another one is append queries. So when to use merge query, when to use append queries? That is the next question to follow. We were going to use merge queries when these are used to add additional columns from one table to another. Try to remember, when you want to add additional columns from one table to another, we are going to use merge queries. When we are going to use append queries, these are used to add additional rows of data from one table to another. So merge queries are used to merge and get the additional columns from one table to another, Append queries are used to get the rows from one table to another. So this is an important interview question. I'm repeating once again. There are two types of ways to combine and get the data from one file to one table to another table in the Power BI. What are those two ways? Merge queries and append queries. Merge queries are used to add extra column from one table to another table. Append queries are used to add extra rows of data from one table to another. So these two are the things. But here I want to use which one? You people only tell me. Here I want to bring some columns here, product, branch ID, product ID and channel ID into the sanction data and recovery data. Now, which option out of these two I need to use? Based on the definition I told you, which option do I need to use here? We are going to use merge queries here. Why? Because you want to add extra columns, right? So now that is what we are now going to do. So now simply let us come from the sanction data. Okay. So I'm going to use this merge queries option. So click on this merge queries. Okay, once you click on this merge queries, a separate tab will open once again. So here you can see merge and select a table and matching columns to create a merged table. Fine. So now let us see here, whatever the table we selected, sanction data, it is present. Now we are going to select the another table with which you wanted to merge. So create means select the customer table from here. You can see all the other tables that are present. You can select the customer. I have created the selected the customer table and sanction data is there. Now what is the common column between these two tables? Because to combine two tables or merge two tables, so obviously you need one common column between two tables. So what is the common column between sanction data and customer table? Guys, if you have the data set, I have provided it 3-4 days back. You need to go through the data. I have told you so many times. What is the common column between sanction data and customer table? Obviously, it is customer number, right? You can even see here. So customer number is the common column with which you can combine these two. There is no other column. Month year is obviously that is not a kind of column you can use to perform any join. So customer number is what we are going to use now. So simply select this customer number in this particular sanction data, come to customer table, select this column. That's it. There is no need to write down any kind of code or something. You can just select this particular column, select this particular column customer number in both the tables and come down below. What is the kind of join that you wanted to make? The first one here, it has been automatically selected is left outer join. So nothing but left join. So we are going to perform a left join between the sanction data and customer data. So these two tables which I am using, you can perform these join with whatever the kind of join that you want. So as of now I'm using the left join only because I want all the rows from the sanction data. Okay, only the matching records from the customer table I want. If there is no matching value, obviously it will get a null value. That is fine. But I want all the rows in the sanction data. I don't want to miss any kind of rows. So that's why I'm using the left join, making left table as sanction data. Okay, and now next one option you can see here, use fuzzy matching to perform the merge. So what is this fuzzy matching operation? So what is this fuzzy matching? So you need to understand this fuzzy matching. Whenever you are merging the queries, it will support approximate string comparison using the fuzzy matching while you are joining the table across the different tables. So as of now here we are selected customer number. Maybe we have changed the data type from whole number to the text before we performing this merge, but still it is having the numbers only in it. So there is no need for me to use this fuzzy matching. Why? Because fuzzy matching it is mostly used when you have some kind of text format kind of data as a common column. Suppose here let us say what can be the text format here, occupation is there. Suppose here also occupation is there. So if you want, there is no other column common column between these two tables, we need to use occupation only. So I will select occupation in this table, here also occupation in this table. At that time, your fuzzy matching is going to help. So what it is going to do, it is going to compare the items in the two columns and joins them only if they're close to each other. Suppose here salaried is there, here salaried is there, and here in this particular data, in the sanction data table, in the same occupation column, if the instead of salaried there is some spelling mistake or something is present, and because of that SALARID is there, so I is not there, something, okay, some mismatch is there in the spelling in the occupation of customer and occupation of sanction data. So at that time it is going to give some kind of a tolerance value. Okay, we can set that matching tolerance value, like how similar the two values needs to be in order to match the fuzzy merge options. You can give it as 90% or 80% or 95%. If you wanted to make an exact match, you can give it as 100%. Like this kind of matching tolerance value we can give on our own to perform this match under fuzzy merge options. Okay, so this is the whatever is the matching tolerance value we are going to give, that we call it as similarity threshold option. Okay, so don't worry, I will provide these notes, but try to remember these words: fuzzy matching, matching tolerance value, similarity threshold option. So what is this similarity threshold option? It is going to help us to control the level of matching. As I mentioned, if you want to give similarity threshold as 90%, so if the 90% of the value of these two columns are matching, then it will consider and it will make a join. Otherwise, that is not a matching value, so it will not perform any join. So if suppose salaried and salaried are there here, it can get the data present in the particular table like channel ID, product ID into that particular salary. But here, as it is a different thing, we can't able to perform a join at the time. So in that way, the fuzzy matching is going to help us. So simply fuzzy matching will come into the picture. You are going to perform a join between the tables using a common text column, which is going to have some kind of a text in it. As here we are performing, even though it is a text data type, but the data which is present here is numbers 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, so there won't be any kind of extra risk available. So that is why here I am not using any of this fuzzy matching. If suppose if you have those kind of columns as a common column, definitely you need to use this fuzzy matching. So remember this fuzzy matching. Okay, now you can see once you made this one, you can see the tick mark below. The selection matches 25,236 of 25,236 records from the first table, which means how many data, how much of rows are present in the sanction data, all of them are having a matching value in the customer. So you can see exact number 25,236 and 25,236. So we can get no null values in this. So exact matching has been there. Okay, after selecting this, making this join and all, you can click on OK. So once you click on OK, you can see this is what has been created in your sanction data with a name called customer. Now you need to click on this one. Click on this one. You can see all the columns that are present in the customer table has been came here. So now I am going to select only few columns that I want to be coming into the sanction data. So what are the columns? At the beginning I told I want channel ID, I want product ID, and I want branch code. So these are the three columns for which I want to perform a match. So that is what I have been done. So I have been got channel ID, product ID, and a branch code. Okay, so we can select whatever the columns that you want. So after selecting the columns below, you can see use original column name as prefix. So here if you do this one, you need to select this box because obviously you need the same column name only as a prefix. So here whenever you click on OK, you will be going to get these columns with the name called customer.channel ID, customer.product ID, customer.branch code, because you need to identify from which table the column is coming. So for that reason, we have been going to check this box. Okay, you need to check this box, keep this tick mark like this and select these three columns from the by clicking on this one. Okay, I am going to show it once again. Check this option. Okay, just click on it, it will open all this. Now unselect all this and select only the columns that you want: channel ID, product ID, and branch code, and also keep a tick mark in this box and click on OK. So once you click on OK, whatever the columns you selected from that customer table you have been merged, those three columns will come and sit in this table. You can see now customer.channel ID, customer.product ID, and customer.branch code. So these three columns have been came into the sanction data. So this is how your merge queries are going to help. If you want to get some rows, you are going to use append queries. But as of now, there is no need for us to use any kind of rows of data. So we are using the same merge queries option. So any doubts with anyone as of now? Please don't hesitate to ask your doubts. Fine then. So I hope you're able to understand. Now I'm moving on to the recovery data. I'm going to do the similar kind of operation once again here. So you can see this drop down is present here, right? You can see here there are two options present, merge queries and merge queries as a new. So you need to understand this. So merge queries is something within the same table itself, whatever you are merging will be coming here. If you click on this merge queries as new, it is going to create an extra table for you with these columns and the extra columns whichever you are going to add. But the recovery data table will be as it is present. But I don't want to make those kind of things. I am using merge queries only. I'm not using merge queries as new. Okay, so I'm clicking on merge queries once again. So customer number is the recovery data common column between the customer table. So you can select the customer number here, click on the customer number here. You can select out the join only. It is estimating the matches now. You can see 16,767 records. Exactly every record has been matching from the customer table. Okay, so it's very good. Now you can click on OK. After clicking on OK, here this one, the customer table, all columns will come. You can select whatever the columns you want. So you come at this exact place here where these arrow symbols are being shown. Click on that. You can select whatever the columns you want. You want channel ID, product ID, and branch code. Okay, and then I'm using the original name as prefix. So click on OK. Now you will get all these three columns with the customer dot as a prefix into this column called recovery data. You can see you have the customer ID, customer.channel ID, customer.product ID, and customer.branch code. Okay, so this is how you can go ahead and make your changes to your data in the Power BI. And you can also see whatever are the applied steps here. We have changed the data type, we have been measured the queries, and we have been expanded the customer table and get only these three columns out of all the columns present in the customer table. Like these different kind of options you can do in this Power Query editor. Okay, so I have already told you we have a programming language in the Power BI for this Power Query editor, which is called as M query language. M for mango. Okay, M query language. So what is M query language? Where you can find it? Here you can see the advanced editor option. You can see once you click on this advanced editor, it will open a new tab where it will show the query whatever you have been done here. You can see whatever the changes that you have been done, all of that has been written here. This is nothing but your M query language. You can see in the customer data you have been recovered the recovery data something. You can see this all the kind of, you can see the changed type. So this is the transformation I have been applied on the data type. From the customer number I have been changed the data type. Okay, from number format to the text format I have been applied. So all of those has been noted down here. And I have also removed few columns like month and financial year, and also have been changed the data type. We have seen the merged queries. You can see join I have been applied between the customer table and customer number with the left outer join. You can see all of this has been written in some programming language. So this programming language is what we call as M query language. Okay, M query language is what used in the advanced editor in the Power Query editor. Okay, so if you want, you can write down even with the help of code directly without applying. If you want to perform a join, you can write down this simple step as a code instead of doing that in the merge queries, going outside in that automatic option. You can do it in the programming as well. So it's up to your wish. But it is very much easy from outside only, right? Why to unnecessarily write down the code for that, right? So this is how the advanced editor and this is how the M query language program will be looking like. Okay, no syntax errors have been detected, it seems, but we haven't written anything. But whatever the steps you are writing down or performing outside, those has been converted automatically into some kind of programming language, just like in the advanced macros option we have seen in the Excel. Even in the macros, when we are recording, it is going to write down some program in the backend that is going to explain whatever are the steps that you are performing on the particular data. So yeah, this is how the query language will be looking like. So I'm clicking on done here, and it will open, it will close this particular tab. So we have been prepared our data set. Now we have been cleared the whatever are the redundant columns that are being present, and also we have been changing the data type, and also we have been created some merge queries option to get whatever the columns that we want from the other table. Okay, so this is how it is being looking like. Now I'm going to save these changes. You can see close and apply. Okay, it is going to close this, and it is going to apply the changes that it is going to have. Okay, so after this class, you please come into this Power Query editor and explore these options. You can see keep rows, remove the rows, and remove the columns, select some columns. Okay, you can see the data type, first use first row as header, replace some values, group by, split by column. Okay, do these kind of changes. Okay, even you have the AI insights as well present here. Okay, so please explore these options. Go here, go into transform, what are the things present. Okay, try to explore all these things. Sometimes in interview it is going to help you people. They are going to ask what are the different kind of options present in the Power Query editor, what are the different kind of transformations that you can do. So at the time, if you can have an idea of these options present, so if you can have an idea regarding, we have an option called remove columns in the Power Query editor, then you can tell them we have an option called remove columns. You can remove the rows, you can change the data type, we can merge and append the queries. Even we have some AI insights. Like this, you can explain it in your own words if you have some idea regarding this particular advanced editor or the Power Query editor. Like this, whenever, see, most of the interviews when you are dealing with these kind of tools, so most people Tableau and Power BI, these are simply tools only. So whenever you are dealing with the tools, the interview will happen in this way only. What are the different kind of options available in the home tab of Power Query editor? What are the different kind of transformations that you can apply? See, these kind of questions will be, you can expect. But once you move to Python or SQL, they won't ask these kind of things. They only ask some logic building. But here in the Power BI, logic building option is not present because there is no coding present. So obviously they will ask these kind of questions only. Okay, so please try to understand the essence of going through each and every option present here and understand. See, simply you can, if you hover on this, it will show you. See, remove rows. Choose the rows you wanted to remove. If you don't know what is this group by, see, hover on this. Group the rows in this table based on the values in the currently selected columns. You can do that, right? So please do explore these options one by one. Go through this, understand what it is trying to say. Okay. Now I am going to close this one. So whatever the changes that we have been applied, that is fine. Now I am clicking on close and apply. So once you click on close and apply, the changes will be applied in here. So it is going to take some time. Again, it will load the data from that Power Query editor. So you can see it is loading all this. It takes some time. Please wait patiently. Okay. Now you can see the data has been refreshed. So let us go to recovery data and see. Yeah, you can see the data. We have the customer.channel ID, customer.product ID, customer.branch code. Even in the sanction data, we will verify. Yeah, you can see channel ID, product ID, and branch code. Fine. So whatever the operations that you have been performed in the Power Query editor, once you click on close and apply, it will come here. It will load all those things, and it will show you the new data. So this is how you can make your changes in the Power Query editor. Fine. Now we are going to look into the DAX expressions. Okay, what is this DAX and how it is going to be useful in the Power BI? I think most of you people, if you can go through any Power BI developer roles or something somewhere, anything if Power BI is included, there they will show something like DAX expressions, or else should be familiar with the DAX. So what is this DAX? DAX is simply some mathematical formulas. What is the full form of DAX? Nothing but data analysis expressions. Okay, DAX stands for data analysis expressions, which is nothing but it is simply mathematical formula. Okay, what is DAX? It is a combination of functions, operators, and even constants. So all of these which can be used as a formula to generate some desired value. Okay, so this is simply the definition of DAX. If anybody asks you what is the meant by DAX, you can tell them DAX is a combination of functions, operators, and constants, all of which can be used as formulas to generate a desired value. Simply this is the definition of a DAX. Okay, I will send you all this. Okay, what is the definition of DAX? I'm repeating once again. Please try to understand. Let me know if you have any doubts in this. DAX is nothing but it is a combination of functions, operators, and constants, all of which can be used as formulas to generate the desired values. And also, as I mentioned, it is a kind of formula language. Okay, formulas will be there in this. It is a formula language that work with the data in the Power BI desktop, and it is having some library with over 200 functions, operators, or constructs, which is going to provide the flexibility in creating the formulas to get the desired result for an analysis. Okay, it is having this particular library is having almost 200 functions within it. It can involve like all these functions or operators or constructs, whatever it is, all those combined, it is having total 200 functions. So these 200 functions are going to provide an complete flexibility for us in creating a new formula to get some insights for our analysis. So that is regarding a small brief regarding the DAX expressions. So what is DAX stands for data analysis expressions. So these are going to be used as some formulas to create some value for our analysis. So it can be used for creating the formulas or some extensions as I mentioned. What are the different kind of things we can create is we can create three types of things in the Power BI using DAX expressions. What are those three things? Create calculated columns, calculated table, and calculated measures. So you can see simply here as well it is being present. In the calculations you can see new measure, quick measure, new column, or new table. So both of these are same. Okay, it is both of these are new measure and quick measure. Both of these are calculated measures only. Okay, and what is the difference between new measure and quick measure you will understand, but as of now both of these are used for nothing but calculated measures, and this is calculated column and this is calculated table. So we can create these three things using the DAX expressions. So first of all, let us try to understand what is a calculated column. We have seen this calculated column in the Tableau before as well. So calculated column is nothing but it is a kind of column which you are going to create in an already existing table and use it based on the DAX formula. We will be going to create some column with some formula based on the data that has already been present in your data. Sorry, in your table. Suppose in this particular table is there. In this table, I wanted to create a new column based on the already existing data present in this table. So for that, I am going to use some formula. That is nothing but using DAX only. So that is how a new calculated column in the sense. It is going to have all the rows. How many rows this customer table is having, those many rows will also be there under that particular column. So here I am going to create some column like how much is the amount or what is the difference between sanction amount and disbursed loan amount. I will write down some formula. This value minus this value. So 9.6 minus 8.832. Then it will be going to show me what is the difference between sanction amount and disbursed amount. See, simply you are using some formula called subtraction to subtract sanction amount and disbursed amount, which is already the data present in your table, and you are creating a new column which is a difference, and it is going to give each every kind of row how many rows are present actually, those many rows will also be there in that column because we are subtracting this. So 9.6 minus 8.82, whatever is the value, it will be written. Next 9.6 minus 8.82, the same kind of things. So you can see in that way you can create a new calculated column, whatever new calculated table. So calculated table in the sense it is going to be creating a new table, just like your branch or channel or customer, whatever are the tables present, it is going to be creating new table for you. That is we going to be calculated table. So for that, once again we are going to use some formula. Okay, so in this case study, obviously we need some calculated table as well to be created. We'll be going to create it. Okay, next one is of calculated measure. So measure in the sense it is going to give you only single value out of all the data present. Suppose I wanted to find out the average of applied loan amount. Average of applied loan amount is not something a column for which every row will exist. Simply you are going to do some average for all these rows in this column and it will give you some value. So that is nothing but a measure. Measure is something which is a constant or simply one single value. Column is something which is going to exist all the number of rows. So that is the difference between calculated measure and a calculated column. And these are the three different things which you can create using your DAX expressions. What are those three ways? Calculated columns, calculated measures, and calculated tables. So try to remember, it is once again an important interview question. What is the use of DAX in the Power BI? Okay, what is the use of DAX expressions in the Power BI? Simply it is going to be used for creating calculated columns, calculated fields, calculated measures and calculated tables. So these three things. Okay, so here I am going to create one calculated column. So as I mentioned, if you remember in the whenever I am discussing about this problem statement of this case study, I told you we are going to analyze something like customers who are applying greater than 10 lakhs. Okay, we are going to understand the customers who are applying loan amount greater than 10 lakhs. So we are going to create some calculated field now in this particular customer table. Okay, in this particular customer table to understand how many people here are applying amount, loan amount applied is greater than 10 lakhs. For that I am going to create a new calculated column here. It should show me if the customer has been applied loan amount greater than 10 lakhs, it should show me as yes. If they are not applying greater than 10 lakhs, it should show me as no. It is simply an if condition, right? I am going to simply give an if condition. If applied loan amount in lakhs is greater than 10, I will call it as yes. If not, it will give it as no. So that is the calculated formula that I am going to be created here. Okay, so let us go ahead and create this particular column. So how to create it? So you can see here options available. You can create a new column. Click on that new column. So once you click on that new column, it should be present in the customer table only. Okay, remember it should present in the customer table. Okay, so here you can give your name. Whatever is the name that you want for this column, you can give. So I am going to give here applied loan amount. Okay, applied loan amount. Simply I also need to give something like applied loan amount greater than 10. Okay, so this is the column name. Now after writing down the column name, give an equal to symbol. From here your formula will start. This is simply the column name. Whatever you want you can give here. I have written applied loan amount greater than 10. You want simply to give some other name, you can, it's up to your wish. After giving the column name, write down equal to symbol and then here you can start writing down your formula. So it is simply kind of an your Excel formula only. So I am going to use if function. You can see once you write down if I have, it is going to show all the functions that are present in with this I want to use this if only, and click on tab or select it. Okay, whatever you want. So you can see after writing down, it is showing me the syntax of this particular formula. So it is giving me, you need to first write down the logical test. After that, whatever is the, if the logical test is true, what do you want to give? If the logical test is false, what do you want to give? And also it is going to give you some description of this function. Checks whether a condition is met and returns one value if it is true and another value if it is false. So obviously we know what is the if condition is going to do. So there is no need, but If you are looking into some functions which you don't know, you can check the description here also. Okay, so I'm using the if function here. For this, first of all, I need to check whether the applied loan amount is greater than 10 lakhs or not. That is the logical test. So simply I'll be going to write down that. So applied loan amount. So you can see whenever you are writing down some column name, it is also being shown to you the complete name. You can see from the customer table. Try to understand this one. From the customer table, applied loan amount in lakhs is the column name. You need to understand applied loan amount in the lakhs is present with other columns if suppose, but now you want in the customer table only because you are present in the customer table. You can't use some column which is present in the other table. It is simple expression. See, if that kind of option is present, there is no need for me to get the product ID, branch ID and channel ID in the sanction data and recovery data tables, right? It is not possible for you to create some calculated measure in one table using the other table columns. So that is the reason why we are bringing all the columns into the other table as well. Also to perform join, that is another option, right? So here I am going to use the apply loan amount in lakhs as a column in the same table called customer. If you remember, recovery data and sanction data, out of those two tables, one table is having this apply loan amount in lakhs, I think sanction data, but I am not going to use that column from that table. I am going to use it from the customer table only, because why you are using it in the customer table means I am writing down and creating a column in the customer table itself. So that is why in the same table only you need to use. So once you can select this directly, okay, or you can write down, select, click on this one, it will come. Okay, applied loan amount in lakhs coming from the customer table. Now you give your condition, that is greater than 10. Okay, greater than 10. Now you are completed. Now you need to give the result if true. What is the result that you wanted to give for this particular any kind of row under this column? If the result is true, I want to give simply it as yes, comma. Next one is result if it is false, I want to give simply as no. That's it. This is your formula. You can click on it now. You can hit on enter, or else you can click on this green tick mark to commit, whatever you want to get. Clicking on enter. Now you can see it is going to be working on it to create a new column. Now you can see a new column has been created with the name apply loan amount greater than 10. As I mentioned, you can give your own name. There is no need to give the same name. So let us try to understand whether the formula is working fine or not. So you can see here apply loan amount is 2 lakhs. So obviously it is giving no. Here apply loan amount is 12, which is greater than 10 lakhs. It is giving me yes. Here 16 greater than 10, it is yes. Here it is 8, it is less than 10, it is giving us no. So I think our formula is working fine. So any doubts in this creating apply loan amount greater than 10 lakhs column? Any doubts with anyone? Let me know. Okay, fine. Fine then. Now this is how you can create a calculated column using the DAX expression. So if function is nothing but it is a one kind of DAX expression. Okay. Next thing is we are going to create one few measures here to understand the complete kind of data regarding of what is the total applied loan amount, how much is the total sanctioned amount, how much is the total dispersed, how much is the total recovered. These kind of 4 measures that I am going to create using the calculated measure option in the DAX expression. So as I told, 3 things you can create using DAX expression. All those 3 I will create and show you. Out of that, first one I have been already shown you now how to create a new calculated column. So that we have been done now. Now we are left with creating calculated measure and creating calculated table. So out of which the second one we are going to discuss about it now, about creating a calculated measure. So I told you there are 2 different ways present in creating calculated measure. So in the table tools you can see quick measure and new measure. 2 things are present. What is the difference between a quick measure and what is the difference what is the difference between quick measure and a new measure? So you are already in the Power BI, there are some ready-made measures available, okay, which we call it as quick measure. So you can select the required measure from the available list and you can create that measure quickly without writing down your own formula. Okay, simply it is some ready-made function will be there, using which you don't need to create any kind of column or write down your function on your own. It will be automatically being created there. You can select what out of that existing ones and create that measure. That is the difference between new measure and a quick measure. Using quick measure, there is no need for you to write down any formula, but using new measure, you need to write down your formula and then create that measure. So I will show you this option. Suppose if you click on new measure, you can see select a calculation. You can see average per category. All of these functions, whatever are present, all of those functions are being shown to you here. So once you select that any of this particular function, there is no need for you to write down any formula from your end. So that is with the quick measure, this is how it is going to be shown. But once you click on the new measure, it is not like that. It is simply be going to just click on new measure. So it is simply be going to we need to write down our own formula from the scratch and create it. Okay, now you can see some measure. You can see the measure is there. You can write down your name for this measure and you can create it. So suppose here I wanted to create something like applied total loan amount. So total applied loan amount, how much is the customers has been applied here. So I wanted to do that. So simply applied loan amount I am going to write. Okay, applied loan amount. So I'm going to do some function that is going to add all the applied load amounts. So for addition, obviously you need to use sum function. So you can set the sum function here. So what is the column that you want to perform this sum? Applied loan amount. Once again, I am going to use this column from the customer table. Okay, so I am writing down applied loan amount. See now, what is the difference that you are observing? Earlier, when I am in the customer table, try to understand it carefully, guys. Whenever I am in the customer table earlier, see now also I am present in the customer table only. See, I am still in the customer table. Whenever I am present in the customer table, earlier when I am trying to create a new calculated column, I have written applied APPL like this. It is shown to me only the applied loan amount present in the customer table, but not from the sanction data. But now, whenever you are creating a new measure, it is showing to you applied loan amount column from the sanction data also. Why means, as I mentioned, for a column you are creating, you need to use the data present in the same table itself. But when you are using measure, it is a constant value. You can create and use it from data from any other table. So it's up to you. So that is the difference that you need to understand. I hope you people are able to understand. Whenever you are creating a new calculated column, you need to use the column from the same table only. You can't use another table column. But when you are using the measure to create, you can use the column from any table because this is a constant value which you can use it across all the tables. But column is something, it is fixed to some table. So you need to use the same table columns only to create it. So that is the difference you need to keep in mind. Now I am using this, any of these apply load amount you can use, but still I am going with the customer table. So in this I am going to use this, simply that's it. There is no need to give any other thing. I am going to simply sum or add all the applied loan amount columns rows present in this customer table. So just click on enter. That's it. A new measure has been created. It is not specific to any table. Okay, it is not specific to any table. That's why it will not show in any table preview. Also, we can see here only applied loan amount greater than 10. Only this only it is showing. There is no other column that is showing because it is not a column you have created. It is a simply measure. And also you can see the symbol present here. So it is a symbol. Whatever it is a symbol, it is a kind of calculator symbol. It is nothing but showing it is a measure. Okay. Fine. Now this is how you need to do in the other tables as well. The same applied loan amount how you have been created. Now I'm going to create it for the other amount fields that are, we have the sanction data, in that we have sanction amount, disbursed amount, and also we have the recovery amount. So we need to create the calculated measures for those three aspects. What is the total sanctioned amount? What is the total disbursed? What is the total recovery? Simply using the sum function only. We are not using any other new function. We'll be going to use the same sum function to create that calculated field. Okay. So we will be going to do that in the next class now. So until now, do you people have any doubts? Let me know if you people have any doubts. See, please try to replicate all these things from your end also. You don't think that we can do it in some other time or after a few days like that. You have already listened to this class. Try to do it in today itself so that you can able to remember. If you are going to make these changes after few days, again you need to go through the recording or something because you might not remember what are the kind of steps we performed in this class. Okay, don't make that delay. Do it today itself so that there is no need for you to go through the recording what are the kind of steps I perform. So to avoid that, simply go through the do the things today itself. So regarding that notes, whatever I mentioned, few words, few definitions, I will send you just like your last class. How I have been sent you today also. I'll be going to send that notes, whatever are the definitions or some words like similarity threshold index, so these kind of things I will be going to send you. Okay, no need to worry, but please try to replicate all these things what are have been performed on today itself. Okay, and also try to save your work. As I mentioned, you can save it in your own local desktop, give some name, and then you can save it. Okay, okay, fine then.